Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know that it's been a really long time since I've made any content. I just mainly wanted to focus this video on just the topic here on hand. So we will get to life updates and things of that nature as time goes on, because I definitely plan on filming a lot more fluently, a lot more consistently. So yeah, I'm actually making this part of the video a little bit later in the day. But I also decided that it would probably be in my best interest just to put down a couple of just sticky notes of points that I want to touch on, because I was telling the story, but I kind of feel like more so than telling exactly the things that I did. And I can include the things that I did. You guys are also welcome to ask me any questions. But I kind of want to have pointers so that I know exactly what to really talk about with all of this, because I feel like if you're planning on making this decision, it's a major decision that you probably have been in your head about for a while. So this is going to just be a little bit of my experience moving to Florida, a state that I've never actually lived in 24/7. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube, and I do acknowledge that, but I really wanted to kind of start making content again and just kind of come back online, which has been extremely difficult. Like just today I've probably tried to film this video like I don't even know how many times at this point, but a lot has happened since the last time that I have been filming, since the last time that I recorded anything, and since the last time that I was truly even comfortable enough to do that. So life updates and so on and so forth will come as the channel progresses. And then also during the course of the time that I haven't been on YouTube, you know, I've been watching a lot of content as well, including these types of videos before I did move out to Florida. I watched a lot of content, you know, with people that were talking about their experiences and how they went about it and stuff like that. So I always knew that I wanted to make a video kind of telling you guys my story. So I'm just happy and grateful that I'm at the point where I can actually share with you guys a little bit of insight on my story and just kind of how I got to Florida. I'm originally from Maryland. I am originally from the DMV. People that have been subscribed to me for a while, you already know that that's what I give, but if you're watching me for the first time, I am originally from Maryland, now living in Florida. And I wanted to move to Florida like months ago. Like I wanted to move to Florida like months ago. And I was in and out of Miami for vacation and things like that, just kind of, you know, hanging around. And I just really love, you know, of course, the weather, just some things that I like about, you know, the state. I really wanted to jumpstart my entrepreneurial life, YouTube, things of that nature, my business. So I just wanted, I guess if you want to say in a sense, the superstar lifestyle, or wanted to kind of get to that point and just wanting to feel like, I don't know, like I'm in a creative kind of state with a whole bunch of other creatives. And to me, that is very much Florida. So I just always wanted to be in Florida. I ended up getting a realtor. I got a realtor. She did specialize in basically helping people move out of state. And I had my realtor for probably like about 5 months, give or take 4 to 5 months. I ended up getting a job offer in one area, but I didn't end up taking that job. So I ended up getting another realtor, or my initial realtor referred me to somebody else that could assist me within the region to where I actually did get an opportunity. So let's talk about jobs, because that's actually the first thing on my little sticky note pad here that I have. Now that I talked about that, once you finally decide what you want to do in terms of moving and all that type of stuff, for me personally, it wasn't really an option to like live anywhere without a job. Like, even if my goals are to, you know, not work for somebody at some point in time, um, I need a job. Because I don't know what you thought this was. You thought I was going to tell you not to get a job? You watching the wrong video if you thought I was going to tell you not to have a job, honey. Because you're going to need one out here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You might need you a couple of jobs. You know, you might need you a couple of jobs. But definitely moving without a job, it just wasn't like an option for me. So I found a job, and finding a job was really difficult. Like, one thing about the job market in Florida that I will say, it's not designed to really support nobody. Like, I don't know, like the cost of living, the way jobs are set up, the scarcity of jobs, it was really hard. I mean, I did get a lot of interviews, and I did get a lot of people that reached out to me because of my resume and things of that nature. A lot of people, if you're out of state, you're already going to lose the opportunity to interview with them, you know, once they find out that you're not local, or you're not planning on being local anytime soon. So that's just a given. And then there's opportunities yet and still, don't get me wrong, but you really have to be consistently looking for an opportunity every day. You can't stop applying, because once you stop applying, you will slow down your momentum. And when you slow down your momentum, then you'll become discouraged all over again. So it's important to stay strong, because looking for a job in another state is hard, but specifically looking for a job in Florida when you're not in state is super hard. Because a lot of people just don't want to talk to you because they don't think you're going to come out. And Florida is also kind of fast paced in a sense. Like, people work fast, they move fast, they're on to the next thing, they're worried about something else day in and day out. So, you know, whatever you can't do, they're gonna find somebody else to do it. Best believe that. So I just hustled, you know. I just continuously tried to look for an opportunity. And it did get to the point where the opportunity that I did come here with, because the job that I have now is not the job that I had when I got here, or the job I got before I came here. It got to the point where I just accepted whatever job I could get, because that's just how much I wanted to move, like, my life. Like, I just wanted to move. So it was good enough. Just make sure that you do have a job, though. I would say finding a job is hard in another state, but having a job, period, is really important. If you have a bunch of savings or something where you feel like you can make the cut, I would honestly say, if you have anything less than $10,000, and that is outside of the cost of moving your stuff, rental vehicle if you need it, flight, food, gas, whatever. I'm talking about $10,000. If you have less than $10,000 as like that number, as far as just funds for when you arrive, rent, I would highly recommend that you take it very seriously, that you need to have a job before you move out of state, especially to Florida. I do think having a job is important before moving. I know there's probably people, I've seen a lot of people's videos. I've seen people say stuff like, oh, I just like left. I just YOLO. And honestly, like, I would never do that because I'm too scared. Okay? Yes, I am navigating this video from a place of utter and utmost fear because I ain't trying to be homeless. That's not cute. I can't be homeless. So yeah, please have a job. Okay, please have a job. Now, my realtor, I was kind of talking to you guys a little bit. They did specialize in specifically helping people move out of state. So that really worked in my favor because they were patient with me. They were willing to understand that I was green to a lot of the things that I was trying to do, and I needed some assistance and I needed some guidance from people that obviously knew the area. Me being, a single female, uh, living alone, it's really important to be in a safe neighborhood, and those are just things you can't gauge by yourself, especially when you're not from the place and you just don't have a real good grasp on the area like that. So those are things that you should really be seeking a realtor's help or advice for. Also, they're able to take your credit, your income, and really pair you with something that coincides with like what would be in the best interest of what you're looking for and what you need. Uh, so that's also something that they do help with as well. Now, housing. And they did help me out a lot with that, which I'm very grateful for. And then when I moved, like, I thought that every place would kind of be like Miami in a sense. So it was a huge culture shock because I live pretty much close to Tampa. So I live on the other side of Florida. I live about, give or take, 3 hours away from Miami, and that's totally fine because I've told everybody I know that I don't actually um, prefer to be like at the party um, or anything like that, because honestly I feel like I've had so much fun in Miami, but I also don't think that maybe at this point in my life living there indefinitely would be like something that I would want to do. I probably yet and still wouldn't truly want to be like this far away from it, but right now this is where I'm at. And this is also my second apartment since I've been in Florida. This is my apartment, this is a luxury apartment. I can talk to you guys a little bit more about that maybe like on another video or something, but I did have an initial apartment, which was where I moved first, and I actually live in a completely different county from the county that I lived in when I first came to Florida. So I've grown quite a bit here at this point, but initially when I came, I had a small little 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It was like a really crappy, honestly, beach apartment, and it was really close to like some of the most beautiful beaches here, but at the very same time it wasn't me. Like, it wasn't really like my circumstances or my standards. And really, if you're out of state, there's only so much you can control. Your realtor should send you videos, they should send you like pictures and stuff like that. I was confident with where I was moving, but I was also kind of pressed for time because I had a certain amount of time with the job offer to start the job. I had to time that with leaving my job that I had at the time currently, and I had to also make it within a certain amount of days to get my keys, and I was also driving to get here. So that was a major, I mean, I totally underestimated how much of a mental, physical, spiritual, honestly, commitment that was going to be. And I did break down several times during my ride here and when I got to Florida as well, just from being exhausted, hungry, spiritually exhausted. Like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Is this the right thing to do right now? So I did go through all those things as well. Those are really normal feelings to have, especially if you've never left or moved anywhere, you know. But with housing, you want to be very specific about what you want. You want to articulate yourself in the case that you go the route, my route, and get a realtor. You want to articulate yourself very just straight up, and you want to be also very honest about your financial status, your standing. That is really going to help them not waste a lot of time giving you things that just you're not going to get into, you know. So there's that. And housing can be really iffy. Like, you're going to feel a lot, at least like with Florida, that, I mean, one thing's for sure, there's not really a lot of places that are going to make you happy where you're paying less than $2,000 a month to live there, and that's just to be honest. I've seen a lot of videos, and I don't know, there's some people, they kind of have like, yeah, a clue, you know. But some people, it's just like, I don't know, like it really depends, right, on your standard of living. And when I paid less, I had a crappy apartment, and when I pay more, I have way nicer apartment, you know. So, you know, it's really up to you, kind of what you want to go with. I would say if you're living in a state for the first time, if you're willing to be patient, if you're willing to hustle, if you're willing to grind, if you're willing to sacrifice, if you're willing to do the right thing to get where you need to get, then it's okay to kind of live a little bit below your means until you get there, because that's what happened to me. I got to Florida, I got to the apartment, and right away when I got in, I instantly regretted that that was my choice. I didn't like the apartment at all. And when I say that it wasn't my choice and I didn't like it, I'm talking roaches with no food in the house. They didn't show themselves immediately, but you know, they came out when they were ready to. It had like, you know, it was just kind of like a older kind of complex, and yet and still I'm really grateful for just the process and everything, because that's really where my situation got me, as far as finances, credit, what I could get in the time that I was trying to get there. You know, that's the best that my circumstances could get me at that time. I went with it, you know. I figured my shit out and just rolled with the punches until I got out. And I actually only lived there for about maybe 5 or 6 months, which was great because I was giving myself a year in that space, which is another thing. Since I just said that, give yourself a timeline for everything, especially if you're going to be moving and doing like all of this type of stuff. Please give yourself a timeline, and please just, you know, I'm going to live here for X amount, I'm going to do this and this, because having goals that you really want to achieve, it really helps drive your mindset to get certain things done and put yourself on a schedule to get it done. At least that works for me. And I'll just put it in my iPhone notes, or, you know, I mean, yeah, mainly I just put it in my iPhone notes. I don't know what else I was trying to say there. Another thing is prayer. And again, I don't know if anyone here is spiritual, but praying really does heal. But Yeah, there's not really a lot of housing options in my opinion that are not going to be like $2,000 and up. My first apartment was about $1,600, give or take, with all of the expenses. Gas, electric, it was like 1,600. Yeah, it was really crappy in my opinion for like that much money. Like back home, like up north in Maryland, like 1,600 could get you basically like close to that of a luxury apartment. Maybe for 1,700 you could get something really really nice. But out here, that's like the bottom of the barrel amount of money for rent. Maybe in certain areas, um, because of course, like if you're trying to live directly in Miami or something, that's definitely way too low to even expect to find anything. Um, so I live a little bit, farther off, like I mentioned. Um, so yeah, there are some options, but I don't know, none of which appealed to me. I guess I'll just say it like that. So if you're looking to get a place and all that type of stuff, um, you are gonna have to have a good job, okay? Or maybe more than one job, or maybe just some way of making money that's like not really traditional, to be honest. And being here for as long as I have now, I feel like that a lot more. Like, I don't think it's realistic to really live here with just a common job, common paycheck. Um, I do have a sales job right now, and my initial job that I had when I came here was a sales job. I would say that if you're not a artist, musician, O, F, whatever y'all be doing, I don't know, okay, then you need to be working like maybe a sales job that has like some type of commission and base pay if you can, unless the commission is like that good. I know a lot of sales jobs commonly have a period of time that you have to be there, or like preliminary type stuff that you have to do before you can actually get that money. So maybe you might want to cushion that time with something else. Everybody's situation is different, but I say all that basically to say that I think that sales jobs with commission and things and incentives and things are really gonna boost you and elevate you, if you're good at it, because they are also performance based jobs. Sales jobs are stressful for sure, because there's a lot of pressure to perform, but it's very rewarding, when you're making all this money. When I came to Florida, the job that I had was not, like I said, it was just something to get me here, because I had gotten to the point where I just kind of wanted anything, like I'm just trying to leave the state of Maryland. I ended up getting into a department where I worked in that department for a little while. At the most, I was making about 4,000 every 2 weeks, and eventually, I moved out of my last apartment. And see, that's what I mean with goals and saying you're gonna do something and doing it. I said I was gonna give myself a year in that apartment. Like I knew I was gonna give myself a year. Like I prayed on it and I knew, and I was moved out in less than a year because I just had my mind on the prize of, okay, let's get out of this apartment. Um, I would recommend a sales job. Um, Now, when I lost that job, because I did lose that job because I have another job now, I went through some stuff. Granted, I was already here in this apartment, but I have a sales job now, and it's pretty much the same thing. I do have an hourly and I do have commission, so um, and that's a blessing because when I lost my job, I did not know what I was gonna do. And that is the worst predicament to be in. And I can actually speak for that because I've actually experienced that too. It was really sudden for me when that happened, and it was really hard. I was doing interviews and I just wasn't finding anything remotely close to anything that could even pay my rent or anything. My first apartment was 1,600. This apartment, well over 2,000. That's all I'm gonna say. Very, very scary type of situation. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. But I ended up getting another job. Love my job now. It suits me so well, and it's such a better company. It's more of a normal job. Point blank period that I'm trying to make is a sales job, okay? And it's a job realm, or I should say job vibe, I guess, I don't know, or job categories of job, sales jobs that I am comfortable with, the most comfortable with living here. I don't know if I could afford anything here if I didn't have a job where my money was like multiplying itself based off of certain other things, as opposed to just me working hourly and coming in. So I'll be honest, regular job, and if you have a regular job where you have, like, I don't know, you're a therapist, a doctor, a lawyer, where you make a bunch of money just, you know, at your job because it's just a good job, that's a little bit different. But if you're trying to go to school, or maybe don't have a degree or anything like that, or maybe, you know, you're just looking for like a regular job, like there's no regular job that is going to be good enough for you to live here. I'm just gonna be honest. Unless you have several regular jobs, a lot of people that have regular jobs here live with other people. Generally speaking, they don't live by themselves, or they might be younger, or maybe they just don't live in a good side of town, so their living expenses and standards are just different. So maybe the regular job does work for them, but those standards typically here are lower than average. Like, it's not just like, you know, like low standards is like really bad. It's like, who will want to live like that? Like, you know, and yet and still those people are probably still paying an arm and a leg even for those circumstances. Please have a good job, and please don't underestimate, you know, having a good job. And once again, if you don't have any of that, or don't have a job, or a job that's promised to you yet before coming out, I would say that you should probably try to save at least a good 10 grand outside of your rental, moving, gas, and other expenses. You should just have that for just when you actually arrive, and you should have a separate money for like doing all that other stuff. I had a little bit less than that. Actually, I had a lot of it less than that, but I'm gonna give that grand total because I feel like I would have been able to really do a lot more with that. And that's also, truthfully, if we're on our P's and Q's and saving and doing what we need to do, not really a lot of money to save up. It's a lot of money. I thought it was a lot of money too at some point in time, but you could do it. If you can't do 10,000, try to save at least 6,000, 6 to 7,000, and you'll be okay off that. But honestly, 7,000 is almost like, basically, I would classify that as like 3 months rent. So like 3 months rent or more, by like maybe 2 months more for wherever you're staying at, should be kind of what you have saved outside of expenses that you would be using to actually get to the state. And that would be my recommendation. Housing is really like, you get what you see, you get what you pay for. Like, if you pay 1,600, like, you're gonna get, you know, probably something mediocre. I would say probably not the bottom of the barrel, but it's definitely not going to be the nicest of choices. there's not a lot of places to rent for less than like 1800. um and I live in like a retirement area where there's like nothing but old people. There's no partying going on like or anything like that, but you know, it's still like up there to live here. Granted, now I do have a 2 bedroom, which is my choice. You know, but I also didn't come here to downgrade. I came here to elevate. I came here to get my bag up. And so for me, my space has a lot to do with my spiritual wellness and my capability to be successful in the feng shui of my soul. You know, when I had my last apartment, I was very creatively stifled in my thoughts. I felt very uncomfortable in my space. I had independence, like I wasn't home anymore. I had freedom, but I wasn't really happy because again, it just wasn't my like standards. I hope all of that helps you kind of understand the housing situation, but I mean, point blank period, on that note, you gotta pay for what you want and there's just no way out of that. So realtor, jobs, housing, 2 apartments. I told you guys I had 1 apartment. It's my second apartment. So yeah, I did all the moving without a car. I don't have a vehicle. I had some assistants, some good people in my life that were able to assist, but we're going to talk about people, and that might be the last thing that I actually talk about. There are no like, how do I want to say it? There are a lot of people here. I would say that I haven't found any like up north hospitality of any kind. People here are very shallow in my opinion. I mean, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people. They're very much like, if you're not giving them something, then why would I be chilling with you? Why would I be hanging out with you? But they won't say it, but they'll make you feel like that. I don't know, there's just not, I mean, if you're looking for nice people, hospitality, you're not gonna find that here, baby. You're not gonna find that, baby. It's not here. I'm gonna let you know, right? You coming to the wrong place. You need to stay your ass at home, baby. Yeah, they're not here. There's not a lot of nice people here, like honestly, like just to say just straight up, like there are many fake people. I'm trying to use every other word but fake, because you hear it all the time. You probably heard it in 20 other people's videos, okay, that talked about people. And that goes for men and women alike. Men is fake, women is fake. And also when people see your situation, especially me coming from like a crappy apartment to like a better apartment, so to speak, you see how people regard you when they see that you have nice things, or they see that you have like, you know, just a good situation. People will try to get close to you that really don't care to be close to you. Like, they don't care about your well-being. They don't, you know, you can't call them to hang out, but they'll always call you or ask you a question. But like, if you hit them up, you like will never get a response from them. Like, and then just going through so many situations with the driving situation, like I would say it probably would serve you better, just to touch base on that, to have a car. You could probably make it without a car, but it's going to be a hard knock life. And I'm still going through it. I've been able to manage and navigate better, like my situation of it and everything. And it is what it is. And if anybody got anything to say about it, like, they're not in my shoes. And you know, I don't really like, I march to the beat of my own drum. I hope everybody watching me is like that, because if you're not, then I hope that I make you like that, because that's the type of person I am. So if you're watching me, like, that's me. Like, that's what I give. I march to the beat of my own drum. Um, it can get really frustrating to have to deal with things when you don't have your own transportation. So I would say that it's still a blessing to have your own transportation yet and still, but it might also save you a ton of money not to. So really gauge that for yourself, how you feel. A car is still a luxury. It might be a necessity for sure, especially if you have children and things like that. For sure you need a vehicle. Again, I don't have any kids, so I don't really have to consider other people. So that's a very real thing that, you know, please consider your situation. If you got kids, please do what you need to do for your kids, because that's completely different. And I'm not even going to put myself in a position to give nobody no advice on that. But people could be really shady here. Just keep your head up, know who you are, understand your value, discern your value, because only when you discern your own value will you not yearn for or seek other people's confirmation in you. You have to be a strong person. It's not easy, especially when you're seeking friendship, loyalty, communication. It can drive someone crazy that does not have human interaction. And you know, but so try to make a valiant effort to make friends. I'm not encouraging people to just be emo and not make no friends, no, but please understand that, you know, Florida is a state where a lot of people that aren't from here a lot of people that are from here are probably not gonna gravitate towards you, just for the simple fact that you're not from here. And if you do find good friends, that's awesome, but also just understand that a lot of people here are they can be materialistic, and they can be very much judging you for what you materialistically have, as opposed to who you are as a person. And I feel like I've met more people here like that more than less. Like, I'm not saying that's 100%, because it could never be 100% right, but a majority of the people I've met, they seem to kind of focus more so on, and you could tell when they feel like, oh, you look pretty or you have nice things, that's why they'll be cool with you. So just understand that. My camera wants to die like so badly, so I gotta make this a little bit short. But long story short, if you're here with the mindset to be successful, okay, then that shouldn't even matter to you, because that shouldn't even be your primary focus. And when you're in a good space with yourself, your finances, your situation, real people, they are a dime a dozen here. It's not that they're not here, because I also am very optimistic and very, like I said, spiritual, and always like to see the good side of things. It's just that they're harder to find. So just understand that that is a real thing. When you hear other people say it, it's a real thing. It's just the state that we're in. So yeah, that is gonna finish my video for this time being. I am really happy to be back filming. I want to make more content. I want to continue to do that for you guys. And yeah, as time progresses, that's just what I'm gonna do. Thank you guys again for all your comments and stuff while I wasn't, you know, presently active. But I'm trying to turn that around. So like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Thanks guys. Bye.